Right then. So it's been around 7 years since I've done anything on this channel. It's been a rocky 7 years, up and down, but I think we're on to a point where it's mostly ups. So the last video I uploaded was at the end of October 2017, and it was a channel update. And I was talking about I'm going to get this game and this game and this game, bring all this content for you 10 people that watch. I think 10 might be a bit generous, but yeah, I made that video, and then life came running at me with a chainsaw and just took out nearly everyone close to me. So I'd taken a little bit of a break again. I posted a video as if I mattered enough that people would look at that, because I was moving house around that time with my mum, and then 2 months after we'd moved house, she passed away. Now, my dad also passed away when I was 14, 3 years earlier, so nothing I could have done. So I moved in with family. Where we'd moved, it was a flat just underneath my auntie's. So I moved upstairs with them, and then we eventually moved to somewhere bigger. So when I was a child, I wanted to teach. I was always looking at being a maths teacher, but when I left high school, that didn't work out well. So I wanted to teach English. I was going to go to uni. I was going to get a degree, get my PGCE, my teaching degree, and go on to teach. And that's all my mum ever wanted. She wanted me to work towards that. She wanted me to be this big, successful teacher. And somewhere along the way, I decided not to. I didn't want to do it. Don't know what I thought I was going to do without uni. I had no plan in place. I just didn't want to do it. And when she died, I screwed my head on and I said, right, I'm going to uni. I'm going to do it. And I did. But we'll get to that in a moment. So yeah, December 2017, she passed away. And around the same time, my granddad, so 2 granddads pop up in this one. The granddad I'm speaking of now wasn't biological, but I was closer with him than my actual biological granddad. And he was diagnosed with cancer not long before my mum died. And so we had that looming over us for the entire time as well. But it was still in good spirits, still laughing and joking. And then the following November 2018, he passed away as well. So, yeah, 2 years in a row leading up to Christmas, around the same time. But we keep going, carried on with uni. I got my first job working for Next Retail in a warehouse for the online side of things. Horrible job, hated every minute of it. But it was money. And in June 2019, I lost that job because I was terrible at it, probably because I didn't like it. But then a month later, I got a job at Spoons, Wetherspoons, which are I suppose you could say, international pub chain in the UK and Ireland. And I absolutely loved it. So when I moved in with my auntie, we moved around 30-40 miles away from where the pub was located in North Leeds. But I was in Leeds for uni. So, I was travelling to uni, and if I was working that day, it was okay. My nan still lived in Leeds, so I would stay with her after a late shift. But I loved the job. Everyone would say, why don't you move to one closer to home? And there was one 5-10 minutes away from where I lived. But I said, I love the people I work with. I love the customers. I love the job that I have now. I could go somewhere else and hate it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, fair enough. But we'll let that lie for a moment. I'll get through the loss first. So December 2019, 2 years after my mum, a year after my granddad, my great auntie, who I weren't living with, she passed away. She had been ill for years and years, and I don't want to say it was a long time coming, but it's not like we didn't expect something to happen. So that was 3 in a row leading up to Christmas. Again, as well, she was start of December. I think it was just before my mum. So all around the same time. And then we'll fast forward to December 2020, where my biological granddad passed away. Now, I don't know if you're keeping count, but that's 4 people, 4 years in a row. And I'm pretty sure he was the day after the anniversary of my mum. And so that would be exactly just over, what would it be, 3 years after my mum died. So between the 16th of November and I believe the 9th of December, there is 5 significant deaths in my family. 5 significant anniversaries of deaths. And you know, I got to a point where I thought life was coming at me. You know, it was out to get me for whatever reason. But I've always been a firm believer of everything happens for a reason. And I think everything that did happen over those few years were indeed for a very specific reason, which I'll get to in a moment. So, as I mentioned before, I wanted to teach. I decided to go to university once that sounds awful. When my mum died, I decided to go to university, just so that I could do that for her as well. But I started thinking it was something that I wanted to do. But this is where the big problem comes in, is that I decided to work full time at Spoons instead, which worst mistake I think I've ever made in my entire life, and I've made a few. I got a flat living behind the pub, which was all well and good, but you just get taken advantage of when you live that close. I'm stuck. But yeah, I still love the job. I live close, and you know, it wasn't an issue. I thought I'd be happy living in my own space. I thought I'd be happy being closer to work. I'd spend less time travelling, which of course, naturally I did. And yeah, everything was going okay. And then slowly the pub just became a horrible, horrible place to work. And I just didn't want to be there anymore. You know, the management was shocking, the treatment of staff and customers, especially the regulars. And let's face it, you're working in hospitality, your entire business is based on the people coming through those doors. And if you can't treat them right, there's no point in being there. So I eventually decided to grow up and say enough's enough, and I left. I left last April 2023, and I've not really looked back. I thought, you know, I've known people, one of my best mates used to work there as well, and he still spends most of his time in there, and I haven't been in for 6 months now. I currently work in a bank. It's more of a call centre position than, you know, actual standing at a machine handing out cash. But I'm enjoying the job, looking at where to go next. So I have gone through now and I've discussed the losses that I've faced. I think it's time to touch on what I've gained. And I think in the long run, the significance of the gains outweigh that of the losses. So, Feb 2020, I working at Spoons just before COVID. The place I worked at the pub I worked at, it started with a quiz night. So I'd finished uni one day and I went up for the quiz, and I started talking to this girl who worked in the kitchen. And yeah, after that we started meeting up, going on nights out, that kind of thing. And then we actually got together just before COVID happened, but we lived that far away, we couldn't really see each other through COVID. Got to try and find a way through here, come on. Think I've done it? Yeah, go on. Never mind. Yeah, didn't see each other throughout the first lockdown really until the back end. I mean, it seemed like ages, but in reality it was about 4 or 5 weeks, if that. But yeah, we got together in March 2020, and we have recently celebrated our 4th anniversary. We moved into our own home on the 12th of January this year. And what date are we on now? It's currently the 26th of June. And my daughter just celebrated her 18-month birthday. Well, that's a stupid thing to say, it's not really a birthday, but she's 18-month-old as of a couple of weeks ago. Which, yeah, I've got a daughter. And that's what I've been doing the last 7 years. And you know, I've gone through a lot of therapy and things like that over the last 7 years, just about all the issues and the loss. And then just the natural stresses that have come with the cost of living crisis, having a baby and things like that. But, you know, they all tell me the same thing, find something to do for yourself. And while I sit here most days and just play on my Portal, or I get my wheel out as I've done now and I'm sat here in front of my TV driving and talking into a headset, I enjoy doing this, and I always did. You know, never got me anywhere. But I thought, you know, watching other gaming YouTubers when I was growing up, when I was about 13, 14, I thought, you know, I enjoy watching it, I enjoy playing it, maybe I can make it and enjoy it, and I did. Didn't go as I planned. I wanted to maybe have a few more subscribers. Wanted to be part of the Sidemen when I was 14. That hasn't happened. But hopefully it's a start of something new. I mean, we've been 2 years now, 2.5 years without anyone dying, which, you know, it's always a positive. But hopefully that can keep up, and hopefully I can find the time, the patience, and be stress-free enough to make more videos and do something that I do enjoy doing. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys.